Hello, dear children. Today we will begin with the third chapter in our history, that is applied history. In this, we are going to study about what is applied history. We are also going to discuss applied history and research in various fields, and applied history and our present. The remaining two topics which also we are going to discuss is management of cultural and natural heritage and affiliated professional fields. Today we will be focusing only on the first three parts, first three concepts. So let us begin. Children, basically applied history deals with the application of history, or when we study history, what is how it can be used, how it can be helpful, or how it can be beneficial if you study history. So let us begin. Applied history is also known as public history. Applied history is a field of study concerned with the application of history for the benefit of the people in the contemporary and future times. Children, here contemporary means current or present. So applied history is basically concerned with the application of history, how we can apply it in our life or in our career for the benefit of the people in the present and in the future times. Knowledge of history is useful as it can provide guidance in finding solutions to the contemporary social issues and incorporate them in the social planning. Now, if we have good knowledge of history, it can be useful, and it can be used as providing guidance to find out the solutions in the present social issues. And like we are facing so many social issues now, so if we have the knowledge of history, past experience, we can use that experience to fight or solve the social issues in the present times. And also it can be used to add few things in the social planning. Knowledge of history is essential for this purpose. The projects and programs related to applied history can create opportunities for people to participate along with the technical experts. So, if whatever projects and programs had been undertaken in the past, they can be used, or they can be very helpful, and they can create opportunities for people to participate with the technical experts. Now we have technical experts. Now for example, if there is some maintenance work related to any monument going on, so if someone has the knowledge of history, of the past history, and that knowledge can be used or can be helpful to the technical team which is uh, taking care of the maintenance of the monument now, so it can be very helpful. Their participation in the capacity of tourists visiting museums and ancient sites is also important. Now, how can the knowledge of history be important for the tourists? So, if someone having good knowledge of history, that person can be useful, because that knowledge of history can be used or can be shared to the tourists who visit our country and see. For example, we need guides for the tourist places in our country. Sometimes we have the knowledge, sometimes we being in our country also, we do not know the importance of few places to that extent or to that depth. So if a person who has a good knowledge of history, if he is taken as a guide, we can get all those that knowledge. Also, the tourists can who visit the museums and ancient sites, or they also can hire these guides, and the knowledge the guides have about history can be shared with them. Tourism creates interests in history among people because we get to see new different places. Some places are so peculiar and so um, so good technologies are used in that ancient time when they did not really had the tools and mechanisms for the precision, but still they are very precise and very nicely done. So we can get to learn so many things when we visit different places, and that creates a interest in history. They can volunteer to participate in the conservation and preservation projects of their own city or town or village. So now children, if there are few people who are really interested in history and they have good knowledge about the past, they can be included, or they can definitely participate in the conservation and preservation. Now the few monuments have become very old and they have started deteriorating, so they are getting spoiled. For the conservation, to make them again in the condition it was earlier, and to take some measures to preserve them, so that in the coming few years also they do not get destroyed, or they cannot there is no effect on the monuments, say because of the natural calamities or because of the people visiting there. So measures are taken for that preservation also. So if there are few projects going on near our town, city or village, we can definitely be a part of it if we have good knowledge of history. Before we proceed to 3.2, we can just concentrate or focus on this yellow box, that is, it is interesting to know public history. People have a lot of misgivings about the practicality of the knowledge of history. For example, history is usually thought as a field of interest only for historians and students wishing to pursue higher studies in the subject and not pertaining to the practical life. History as a field of knowledge does not have any ability to economically productive fields, etc. Now, children, we have some notion, we have some thinking that the knowledge of history, or we should study history only if we want to become some historian, or if we have to make some higher studies in the field of history, then and then only history is helpful, and it is not useful in the practical life. But also we have a thinking that history as a field of knowledge does not have any applicability to economically productive fields. Means economically productive fields means where money can be generated. Such fields, history knowledge of history is not useful. This is what we believe, or this is what our thinking is. Public history helps to overcome such misgivings and makes history meaningful in everyday life, connecting people to history. Because of public history, it has become possible to uh, rule out, or to erase this feeling or this thinking amongst the people, that history uh, is not meaningful in everyday life, or it is not connecting people to history. So because of public history we can come to know, or the applied history we can come to know, that how history can be helpful in almost all the fields. The way we see maths or science, knowledge of maths and science is applicable in our day to day life. Similarly, the knowledge of history can also be applied or can be useful in almost all the fields of life. There are many universities abroad where various courses in public history are offered. Srushti Institute of Art Design and Technology is an institute at Bengaluru, Karnataka. This institute has an independent department named Center for Public History. This department has taken up various projects and research in the field of public history. So now, to further enhance the applicability and the use or the connectivity to our day-to-day life and practical life of history and our life, so there are so many measures taken, there are so many research and development programs are also taking place, and there is a separate university um, which is which offers courses in public history, and one such institute is Srushti Institute of Art, Design and Technology, which is situated at Bangalore in Karnataka. This institute has a separate department called as the Center for Public History, and this department has also taken up various projects and research in the field of public history or the field of applied history. Let us now move to 3.2, that is applied history and research in various fields. Applied history and research in various fields. In this section, we are going to see how applied history is related to the research in various fields, in different fields other than history. History is about the past events. The way our present lifestyle is shaped is dependent on the historical chain of events. So, our present lifestyle is like in the past, what chain was there, or how the people used to live and what their lifestyle was in the past. Gradually, there have been changes. It was not a sudden change. So, gradually, it has been there have been changes, and out of those changes now we can see that if we compare the present lifestyle and the lifestyle say 100 years ago, we can find that there was a vast difference. So history is the way our present lifestyle is like how we are our lifestyle is now is dependent on the historical chain, on the past chain of development of the events. Historical events relate to various fields like politics, social and religious structure of the community, philosophy, technology, and science, etc. So, historical events lead to so many have the reference, or they relate to so many different aspects of the society, like they have some reference related to politics, some reference related to social and religious structure of a community, something about philosophy, something about the development in science and technology. So it is related to so many different fields as well. Each of these fields have their own history of building knowledge. So each field in each of the field, like if we consider philosophy, or if we consider science and technology, or politics, we can see that everything has a past history, everything has a past, and studying that past is also a part of history, which is very important. Like even if we are talking about politics, or how the political situation was earlier in any country can be compared to the present political situation, so necessary changes or ideas can be taken from the past. So hence in every field we can see that it has a history. The direction of future development in every field is dependent on the state of available knowledge. So, whatever available knowledge we have regarding a particular field, that knowledge is very important for the future development and giving a direction to that particular field. Hence, the method of history can prove to be of value in the research of various fields. So that is how the knowledge of history or the knowledge of past can be helpful in the development or research of various fields. Philosophy. The history of philosophy helps in understanding the origin of various ideologies, the intellectual traditions giving rise to those ideologies, and their historical development. Children, we can see that there are so many quotations or proverbs, and we cannot relate it so well. Sometimes some of the phrases we cannot relate them so well now, because those are very old phrases, and we do not get the exact meaning or exact idea of what those phrases or what those quotations or uh, what those muhavre, you can say, uh, mean exactly, or what situation it demands. So if we have some knowledge, or if we have some story which tells us that how those came into existence or what do they actually mean, that we can understand if we go back to the past, and if we find out that on what situation or on in which circumstances was it said, or what it actually means. So, if we consider philosophy, so the history of philosophy helps us in understanding the origin of various ideologies, like how these various ideologies came into existence, the intellectual traditions giving rise to those ideologies, like what the um, idea was behind setting those traditions, and their historical development, how there was a development. Like we can see in the past, girls were not allowed education. Why they were not allowed education? Because our country was ruled, uh, not only education, but they were not allowed to uh, come out in the public, or they were kept in behind the curtains. Now why this was there? Because the main intention was to save these ladies from the foreign invaders. Like we had been ruled by the Mughals, the Portuguese, the Britishers, just with the intention of safeguarding these ladies. This um, this practice was followed. Eventually, as we got the independence, even before independence also, we can see gradually the girls, the women started coming out from the parda system, or from the, being deprived from the education. They started coming out of it, and that is how we see that there was a gradual development. And today if we see, there are no restrictions at all, and there is quite a lot of equality, no gender discrimination. In few rural parts we can still see that there is discrimination, but overall in general we see that in the cities there is not much of a discrimination, sorry. So that is how we can study the uh, cause, why these restrictions were there, why these differences were there, and when the cause of this discrimination was not in existence, again how equality came, again how that practice was stopped. We can also see how gradually this development came about. So philosophy needs language as a medium of expression. In order to understand the philosophical expression, knowledge of history of languages proves useful. So now philosophy is, children, all about ideologies. A few learned people did some type of experiments, and they had set up some ideologies, like in ideal conditions, if this is the situation, this is what is supposed to happen, or this is what generally happens. So these are the ideologies set up by the philosophers who were learned, and who had done a lot of research in uh, s- that particular field or that particular subject. Now when these ideologies are to be expressed, now there might be some ideologies which are expressed in the German language, or some ideologies we can see, if we consider our country, few ideologies were set up in the very ancient times in the Sanskrit language. So also the knowledge of history of languages proves useful. So if a person knows the Sanskrit language used in those times, he or she would be able to understand that ideology and explain it to others as well. The next example we are going to consider is science. The history of science helps in understanding the chronological order of scientific discoveries, inventions, and theories. It can also help to understand the cause effect chain that leads to those discoveries and inventions. So, as far as the field of science is concerned and its relativity to the um, field of history, the history of science helps us to understand the order of scientific discoveries, like what was discovered first, and after that what were the changes done. That all we can understand from that. The second example we are going to discuss is science. The history of science helps in understanding the chronological order of scientific discoveries, inventions, and theories. It can also help us to understand the cause effect chain that lead to those discoveries and inventions. So, how history is helpful in the field of science is that we can understand the chronology, the order, what were the inventions done, and then what were the changes done to their inventions after further studies or after further experimentation, that we come to know about only through the history of that particular experimentation. We also come to know what new inventions and discoveries are, because for that it has to be checked in the past whether the same discoveries or inventions have been done or not, or are they really latest or new ones, new findings, and no earlier such conclusion was drawn in the past. It also helps us to understand the cause effect chain. What are the causes, and if these are the causes, what are the effects? So this cause effect chain can be seen, like if this was is these were the causes, these were the effects. If the causes change, the effects change or they do not change. So that uh, also can be understood through the history of that um, cause effect chain or that particular experimentation, and that helps us to um, that impacts the discoveries and the inventions. It is said that need is the mother of invention. Scientific discoveries or inventions are often the effect of human efforts to fulfill a need and also curiosity. These effects are based on already available scientific knowledge. Knowledge of history of science helps in understanding the factors that facilitate a scientific discovery or invention and also its chronology. So, this concept of chronology or the process of invention or any discovery, the different findings to it in a chronological order, in a particular order in which they were really found or discovered, all these things are very important. And for getting the exact information on which invention was reached on what particular date or day, this can be done only with the help of history. So that is how history, the knowledge of history, is helpful in the field of science. Technology. The history of technology helps in understanding the changes in their causes in the field of agricultural production, commodity production, architecture, engineering, etc. So through history of the technology we can find out that how the changes have occurred, or how the changes and their effects we can just relate in the field of agricultural production, commodity production, architecture, engineering, etc. Scientific discoveries or inventions and technological advancement are mutually dependent on each other. So generally we also see that when we speak also, we always say science and technology together. So they both are very much interrelated to each other. Knowledge of science and technology was very important at every step, from the making of stone tools to agricultural production in the evolution of mankind. Later, the advancement of science promoted the mechanism of production. It is necessary to know the history of technology in order to understand the development of mechanism and the mutual dependence between science and technology. So, science and technology are very much interrelated to each other since the Stone Age. So, different tools were made earlier, they were made manually. Gradually, with the development, we can see that the same tools or similar or advanced tools were made with the help of the machineries, using the help of machineries. Industry and commerce. The field of mutual social transactions expands with the growth of industry and trade. It also promotes continuous development of the network of cultural interactions. It is an integral part of the industrial and commercial management. It is essential to understand the history of these processes. The nature of the market and commerce has continued to change. Accordingly, the nature of human relationships and the social organizations also has continued to change. To understand this development, it is necessary to study the history of culture, social organization, and economic institutions. Children, the more better relationship with other countries a country has, the more number of transactions take place. So um, with which countries we had good transactions earlier, with which we have now, or whether the transaction with a particular company has a particular country has improved or it has declined, what were the reasons of that, why it has so happened, what were the circumstances. All these informations we can find out through the history, through the past records. So it is very important to understand the history and the processes which were followed in the past. Now, the nature of the trade or the nature of communication, the nature of things, how they were transferred from one country to another, sold in one country, manufactured in the other country. So, this has kept on changing, it has changed continuously. So, it is very important to find out how and why these changes have occurred, and when these changes were done, where were they beneficial or were they um, like what whether it has brought some negative effect. All that understanding and improving the trade or improving the um, industries or the productions and the profits, it is very important to have the past history of those products, of those relationships, and of those um, the development. The It is necessary to study the history of the culture, social organization, and economic institutions. So all these has to be studied with reference to the past. Management studies. In order to understand various factors involved in the chain of production, such as means of production, human resources, and processes of production, as well as the chain of market and sales management, etc., it is essential to have knowledge of similar functional system of the past. So now when we discuss about the management studies or about the management in the factories or production houses or industries or any other place, it is very important that first of all, management um, involves the concepts like production, means of production, that is the raw material, the labor, the place, the infrastructure, everything, and the chain of market and sales management. How and where these things are sold, where it has a good demand. A survey also can be conducted at that to understand whether if there is more demand of these products anywhere else. So all these things are to be found out, and in finding out the details of all these things, the history plays an important role. It is also very necessary that we should find out that if similar functional systems were existent in the past, and how were the systems, and if something can be applicable from those past systems in the present as well. It is essential to understand the psychological character of people working at various levels in the chain of production and marketing for healthy management. Now, the people who are working for a particular industry or a particular um, warehouse or anywhere, the psychology of those people, understanding that psychology is very important. Also, the chain of production and marketing, how it is marketed and how uh, the process of production is followed, all this study is very important for healthy management. In order to achieve it, understanding of the social and economic institution that support the industrial and commercial process is important. Knowledge of history is in this regard makes the management at various levels easier. So for different management of different things, different concepts are used, different tactics are used. So if we have something of the past, we can definitely have references, and those references can be used, which may be applicable as it is in the present, or with some necessary changes. So making some necessary changes, those in the existing or in the past which techniques were used, some modification to that can be applicable in the current scenario as well. Arts. It is important to understand the development of various art forms with the help of their style of expression and their foundation in the form of intellectual, emotional, cultural traditions. Now, art can be of different type. It can be performing art, or it can be a creative art. So there can be drawing, sculptures, or this type of art, or that can be a performing art like music instruments or dance forms. So it is very important that the development of various art forms uh, should be studied, or should be understood. Also, the styles of expression and their foundation or their basis is very important. The key to the key to the expression in any art form, emotional temperament of the artist, the emotional state of a person, uh, and the developmental history of the respective art form can be understood with the help of cultural history. So now, a particular dance form or a particular art form, what it demands and what is the uh, mentality or the emotional level of the um, artist who is performing that or who is doing that is very important to find out, is very important. And with the help of the developmental history of that particular art form, can be understood with the help of cultural history. Humanities. Humanities include disciplines like history, archaeology, sociology, anthropology, political science, economics, etc. To understand the history of the origin and development of these disciplines, it is an essential part to understand the history of the origin and development of these disciplines is an essential part of their learning. So in humanities, all these fields are included, like history, archaeology, sociology, anthropology, social science, economics, and such other fields. So it is very important to understand the history of the origin and how they were developed. uh, all these disciplines, or how all these subjects, how they were developed. This is an important aspect to be understood. All disciplines are supposed to have their origin in philosophy. Ancient people all over the world tried to speculate in order to understand the relationship between the universe and human existence. Okay, so all these fields like history, archaeology, etc., these all these fields have their origin in philosophy, and the ancient people all over the world tried to speculate means anticipate, or to figure out, in order to understand the relationship. They wanted to understand, and they had a lot of speculations, lot of assumptions, or lots of beliefs that the relation to understand the relationship between the universe and the human existence. It gave rise to various mythological stories about the origin of this world, the universe, the universal order, human life, gods and goddesses, rituals, and their philosophical explanation. Roots of philosophical pondering are to be found in these mythological stories. Various disciplines under humanities have theoretical foundations based on philosophical theories. Only historical knowledge can help us in understanding these developmental stages. Now, there are so many mythological stories. Mythological are related to the um, ancient times. There are so many stories. Now, about the existence or the origin of these, there are also stories about the origin of the world, the universal order, or the human life, or gods and goddesses. There are so many stories, or there are so many beliefs that are followed as far as mythology is concerned, god, goddesses are concerned, then the rituals um, which are to be followed by us. All those, there are lot of beliefs, or lot of things which are conveyed from our ancestors. Now, the origin of this, or how far is it true, or the roots of these philosophical things are found in the mythological stories. These relate to the mythological stories, and this its theoretical foundation, its basis is on the philosophical theories. So, historical knowledge can help us in understanding these developmental stages, whether it was true, or if there is any reference about it in the history. All this we can find out, and in the history, what exactly is written, or what exactly is mentioned, is more relevant than what the stories are. Like, for a particular thing there can be a number of stories, but then the real one would be the one uh, which is as per the um, historical resources.